Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharya Ji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to our Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to our 12 Alvars. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you here physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that's watching this discourse locally, nationally, and internationally. And I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted on YouTube and the various groups from around the world. We have had a roller coaster week here in South Africa, or 2 weeks. We were ravaged by a 2-day thunderstorm. We offer our condolences to the families that lost their loved ones, in excess of 400 in KwaZulu Natal. Many families, especially those that were already in poverty, are suffering greater poverty by living across or near rivers. Then there are those that also lost their loved ones that live on estates. So right across, from rich to poor, from Hindu to Christian to Muslim, from Indians to blacks, to Coloureds, to whites, this storm took everyone and hurt, damaged everyone and everything in its wake. This storm was not impartial. Our hearts go out to all those that have suffered and are still suffering today. This issue is sensitive, but it needs to be discussed. And my mind goes back to July last year, where there was looting in this very province, and there was also racial tensions between South African blacks and South African Indians. It was a tormenting time in the minds of Indians from previous experiences of the previous 2 riots that took place decades ago. But throughout, the relationship between blacks and Indians, when the blacks were oppressed, the Indians took care of them. And today, when the blacks are governing this country, the Indians are still taking care of the very same blacks that attacked the Indians in July this year. This declaration is sensitive but relevant, so that those in the know and those in control do not spark these racial tensions ever again in this country, for the Indians of South Africa do not need to be prodded and provoked into doing seva. It is a natural Indian instinct. When there is a calamity, they team together, and if you go on social media, you see the Indians serving everyone equally. Although we are a small minority in this country, majority of the seva is with the very same black people that looted and burnt Indian businesses surrounding them. So we have to bring this into the fore. We have to discuss this as a society, especially those political leaders that were pushing for this racial tension. Those leaders were not to be found anywhere. We cannot see them helping the black community. We can't see these great politicians fronting the service to humanity. Social media is not showing us this. We see ordinary people, business people, truck tanker people bringing water to those that still do not have water. In this 21st century, our country, our province of KZN had no water and lights for 2 weeks. From those living in informal settlements right up to those that's living a 7-star life like Jessica and Satish Bhai, there was no lights and water. I want to tie this up. Because our topic for the past few weeks is about a superior God and a superior religion. A superior God and a superior religion. And that superior God only belongs to that religion. So I said, and I continue to say at the Sri Narayan Dham, that we are very simple, rational, commonsensical and logical. Unlike Tivashni, who's doing big equations in school, 2x minus 3y is equal to ABC, we don't want to go there, we'll fail miserably. We just want to be in 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Now let us comprehensively analyze, and I said it is sensitive, lots of lives, over 400 lives were lost in the recent floodings of the past two weeks. Let us find God in this flooding. Let us find religion in this flooding. Let us find 1 plus 1 in this flooding as per Christianity, as per Islam, as per Judaism, and as per Sanatana Dharma. This flood must prove whose God is superior. We don't want to go into earthquakes, we don't want to go into volcanoes, we don't want to go into tsunamis. They're too far away, too far from our minds. the Sri Narayan Dham is situated in the midst of this flooding that took place. In South Africa, we have all the races and all the religions, or most of the races, all races, most of the religions, right here in KZN. And we want to analyze, and I'm saying it sensitive, I'm saying it with love for those that lost their loved ones and those that are struggling in this time with no lights, no water, no basic necessities. But I can't wait for that to be normalized before I give this discourse, because this discourse is hot on the heels of previous discourses and statements made and declarations made that Christianity is the most superior religion, that Islam is the most superior religion. If you're not a Christian, you don't have God. If you're not a Muslim, you don't have God. If you're a Christian, then the other gods are demons. If you're a Muslim, then the other gods are demons. And I want to see now with 1 + 1, not university astrophysics. I want to see with preschool intellect. Preschool intellect, not through astrophysics in a university, whether this is true. Whether this is true. So we want to examine this critically, because this stupidity has taken many lives since religion took its birth on this earth. It was after the birth of religion, the killings in religion is more than any other killings described in this world. Religious-backed killings. And we want to show today the stupidity of this notion that one religion is superior to another religion. This 2 weeks, this flooding in these 2 weeks will be absolute and scientific proof. Absolute and scientific proof that there is no superior religion either here in Durban, South Africa, or in any part of this planet Earth. There is no superior religion either here in Durban, Sri Narayan Dham, KZN, South Africa, Africa, or any part of this earth. There is no superior religion, there is no superior God, and we're going to prove this scientifically. We're going to prove this scientifically and with evidence. With evidence. So if you have a superior God, firstly, if you have a superior religion, then that God belonging to that religion becomes superior. What must be your benefit and who must you be? Jai Bhai, Senior Jai Bhai. If you have a superior God, if your God and you are superior and other gods are demons, what benefit must you derive being in a particular religion with a particular God?
Should get preference.
you should be superior as well. And all the preferences in this universe must go to you, natural, logical. Yes or no? 1 plus 1 equal to 2. Are you reasoning with me? So if your God is superior, it means you are superior and your religion is superior. Then your religion must be insulated. Your religion must be insulated against calamities, atrocities, poverty, and all the workings of this universe. Why? Because it is superior. So, if I give a chili, green chilies, and I make a Muslim stand, I make a Hindu stand, and I make a Christian stand, and I make a Jew stand. And if I give the same chili, I won't change it. When the Muslim bites the chili, the Christian bites the chili, the Hindu bites the chili, and the Jew bites the chili. And this is a tiny one. The mirchis. That person in a superior religion must not feel any burn from the chili. Why? That person is, and his God is, and his God must neutralize the chili. If his God can't do that, and if his religion can't do that, what is the use only in word that my religion is superior, my God is superior, only in word? You must tangibly prove your religion is superior and your God is superior. You must prove that when you preaching, when the pastors are preaching, when the Maulanas are preaching, they must come back to me, Acharya Sham Ramanuj, at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, and explain to me why a mosque got washed away in this flood, why a church got washed away in this flood, why a temple got washed away in the flood, and people of all religion died the same death. You think God does not have the capacity to save a mosque? You think God don't have the capacity to save a church? You think God don't have the capacity to save a temple? I'm asking you. Can God save a mosque? Yes. Can God save a church? Can God save a temple? Why didn't God save the temple, save the church, or save the mosque? Because the Supreme Lord, you can have many gods, you can create many gods, religion can evolve every day, you can have 1 million religions. But the Supreme Lord can never be superior. The Supreme Lord can never be sectarian to one religion. Then he is not supreme. Then he is not. He cannot be supreme and be sectarian at the same time. He cannot be absolute and be inabsolute at the same time. Who has more compassion? A mother or the Supreme Lord? If a mother's compassion is infinite, then what can the compassion of our Creator be? we can't even give it a word. You understand? In terms of compassion. A mother has one child that is a criminal, one child that is a judge, and one child mentally ill. Which child is superior to the mother? Which child is superior to the mother? None. No child is superior to another child, to a mother, and that compassion is derived from the compassion of the reservoir of compassions, and that is the Supreme Lord. If a human mother cannot be sectarian in her children, even the child that does not reciprocate her love, a mother's love, outgoing love, is the same whether the children reciprocate it or not, whether the children hate the mother, taunt the mother, fight with the mother, disrespect the mother, but the mother's outgoing love cannot be tainted by the behavior of the children. Yes or no? Is that common in all races? Is that common in all religions? The mother's compassion to a child is infinite. It does not matter whether the child is a sinner, a criminal, or a saint. It does not matter to the mother. Whether the child is deformed, well-formed, all these things does not matter to a mother. Mother knows I have one child, 2 children, 10 children, 10 children, and the mother is equal to all. Whether you boot your mother, whether you kick your mother, whether you disown your mother, whether you disrespect your mother, her love is still the same from her side coming to you. And a mother is an ordinary human being. Then how can the reservoir of all compassion, how can the reservoir of all compassion, the Lord is the reservoir of all your divine traits, isn't He? If you have peace, where do you get that peace from? The Lord. He is the reservoir of peace in its totality. Then explain to me how there is a God in Islam and a God in Christianity, that if you do not follow Christianity or if you do not follow Islam, then that God does not love you. That God can only be loved in these 2 religions. Explain to me how that is possible. Who's fooling who, Amita? You like that as a topic? Who's fooling who by claiming a superior God? Amita? Who's fooling who by claiming a superior God? Let's see. Pride. Is pride a negative quality or a positive quality? Negative. Negative? Is it a negative quality? Yes. When you say, my God is superior, what is your consciousness? Your consciousness is negative. If you say, my religion is superior. You saying it with pride, and pride is a negative aspect of your consciousness. Yes or no? All of you understand? Would God create, would the absolute God create an inabsolute religion? Because this is where we are satisfied. And we have to really get South African initially, which the Sri Narayan Dham has got South Africans talking, Jessica?
Yes, Guru.
Are South Africans of all religions talking? Yes. We have awakened the spiritual consciousness in South Africa. The Sri Narayan Dham has awakened the spiritual consciousness in Africa. For the very first time in the history of Christianity, a pastor has got up. A pastor has publicly got up whereby he did not say that Christianity is superior, and he condemned Christians who stated that Christianity is superior. And this pastor was inspired here at the Sri Narayan Dham. We injected spirituality into him here at the Sri Narayan Dham and in his crusade. We asked him in his crusade, all pastors present here, I made a plea, I made a humble plea to the pastors present here. I said, please, when Sanatan Dharma is attacked, come to our defense. Did I say that or not, Jessica?
Yes, Guru.
And 2 days later, the temple got washed away. And in that weekend, the pastor gave his sermon. And he's been attacked by Christians. Christians are attacking. And this post is now going to go wherever this discourse is now going to go, wherever he is being attacked. And those people attacking him must explain to the Sri Narayan Dham why the church got washed away in the same flood and why Christians also lost their lives. Why Jesus Christ, Lord Jesus Christ, did not insulate the Christians from this calamity. It is sensitive, but it has to be discussed. As sensitive when our temple got washed away and these comments were made. So I want a logical and an evidential answer to this question I am posing to those Christians that believe Christianity is superior than Sanatan Dharma and Islam. Then I'm asking the Muslims, and you must tag this person, Emita, from Australia. He must explain to me why a mosque got washed away, why many Muslims lost their lives in this flooding, and why is that God that he worshipped did not insulate the Muslims. We need to break, Sanatan Dharmis need to break about from that mindset. Okay, let them say what they say and we know what the truth is. All that is bull. That is bull. Because when your boss will pay you 500 rand less in your salary, then you won't say, okay, he paid me 500 rand less, I'll leave it. Maybe sometime he'll pay my 500 back. Jessica will be kicking the Justice Department's building down. You understand? Then there's no leave it. That is by, yeah, your wife. That justice, I don't know where that building is, but I know that building won't exist. It will get washed away with Jessica's fury. All of you understand how important it is to bust open this false notion that a particular religion is superior and the followers of that particular religion is superior. Bull. God showed you, and we have evidence, we have footages, we can go to the mortuary, we can go in our infrastructure, we know politicians. I can give you evidence that there is no superior God. There is no superior God and no superior religion. And this is current evidence from just 2 weeks ago. I can go into earthquakes, I can go into volcanoes, I can go into riots, I can go into wars. If there is a holy war, let's be logical. And again, I want to bring my granddaughter Shweta, who is 3. What would Shweta say if there is holy war between 2 religions? Which religion must win? The superior religion must win. There must be no loss of life in the superior religion. God must insulate that religious army which is superior. Yes or no? 3-year-old Shweta, this is what she'll say. Aja, if there is a holy war, and in that holy war one side is saying we are superior, then that superior God of that fighters, nobody must die. And on the other side, everybody must die. Is that not logic? Is that not common sense? These suicide bombers, why are they dying in their bomb blast? If their God was superior, you think that God would not save them and kill the kafirs and everyone else? Logic, 1 + 1 is equal to 2. Why are they also dying in their own bombs? Are you understanding? So that notion today at the Sri Narayan Dham, that there is a superior God and a superior religion, is debunked forever. Debunked forever. We must not allow anyone to say, my religion is superior to your religion. We must not allow anyone to say, my God is superior to your God, because you're a damn fool. You need to go to a mental hospital and be strapped into that bed, never to come out into society again. That is absolute bull. And you can go right across this last illness I saw Muslims wearing masks. I saw Christians wearing masks. Why were they wearing masks? You think a superior God cannot insulate you against an invisible, minute, subatomic virus? Why were they wearing masks? You understand? You understand? We need to make sure if you see a post anywhere where one religion is stepping onto another religion, tag me. Tag me. But I want to explain the prophets, and I want to explain how the context got misconstrued. How the context got misconstrued. Srinibai, you have grandchildren? Anyone with grandchildren, yeah? Shanti, you got grandchildren? Baya in the back, you got grandchildren? Sita? No children. Please, Sita. We hardly have space for you in this universe. If you had a family, what do you think would have happened? So there is a principle called grandchildren. Is it a principle? We all have grandchildren, so it is a principle that called grandchildren. So Srini, Bhai, even I'm your guru. If I say my Shweta is the best grandchild in the world, will you agree with me? No. Because you believe your grandchild is the best in the world. Shanti believes her grandchild is the best. See, she has smiled. Best in the world. And similarly, every grandparent believes that their grandchild is the best in the world. Yes or no? Can you see where this example is heading? So in the context of your association with a principle, the principle is the grandchild principle, you will say your grandchild is the best. But within you, you know everyone who has a grandchild, that person's grandchild will be the best. So the grandchild principle ultimately is the best. Your grandchild cannot be superior to my grandchild. My grandchild cannot be superior to another grandchild, because they all belong in the grandchild principle. So when Lord Jesus Christ preached, He preached in this context to His flock. He preached in this context to His own flock. His own flock is His spiritual DNA. His own flock is His spiritual DNA that was currently there. And He said, you cannot get God unless you come through me. Like here in this satsang, I'm telling all of you here who belong to the Sri Narayan Dham. You cannot get the Lord unless you come through me. I'm the Guru, and it is here in chapter 4, verse 34. Lord Jesus Christ took the same verse. He took this same verse and he preached to his flock. Outside I have Taffy working and I have Tulani working. They are listening to this discourse. Are they not? Can I tell them you cannot get through to the Lord if you don't come through me? Because they are not my flock. You are my flock. I am telling you, you won't get God unless you go through the Guru principle. Do you understand? And Lord Jesus Christ did the same, and Prophet Muhammad also did the same. So in this context, and we'll call this context the God principle. We'll call this context the God principle. In the God principle, when religion is born, then each religion will say, my God is the best. Like how my granddaughter or my grandson is the best, in the God principle, in the principle itself, they will say, my God is the best, because they are following the words of their founder. Their founder. All of you understand? But when you as a Christian and you as a Muslim, when you say my God is the best, my prophet is the best, it is for your own evolution. It must spiritualize you. Your Guru must take you to God. That is the principle. It is for your personal evolution individually. It is for your personal evolution individually. You must say what you want to say in terms of Lord Jesus Christ and in terms of Prophet Muhammad, to cleanse your pride, your anger, your hatred, your envy. When Lord Jesus Christ, through his preachings, and when Prophet Muhammad, the word jihad, the Americans made that word sensational. Who? The Americans, and to bring Islam down. The word jihad in the Quran means you must perform jihad with your individual self. Performing jihad with your individual self means you must kill your enemies within. And your enemies within is pride, anger, hatred, jealousy, envy. So when you kill pride, you will say, my God is the best universally. You will say, my God is the best universally. You will know, after pride is gone, the word superior goes. After the word superior goes, everything becomes universal. Does it not? It becomes standard. Then my God is standard. Sanatan Dharma's God is standard. Judaism's God is standard. If all God is standard, then it falls within the God principle, and that's all we need to know. You don't have to know how many hands God got, how many legs God got, how it's going to help you, what color is God. You just need to understand the God principle. You just need to understand the God principle. Like a mechanic, Srinibhai, you just need to understand the mechanical principle. You can tear apart any engine and put it together because it is a standard principle. If you know the standard principle, like a heart surgeon, he'll be able to rip out your heart, Vishwadhar, the granite one, and put in a flesh heart. Standard principle. Standard principle. All of you understand? So, stand up against anyone who is saying his or her religion is superior, because that is a negative personality, because that person has pride. And anyone who is negative is non-divine. Anyone who is negative is non-divine. Okay? So that covers up that aspect of my discourse. I want to spend a few minutes internally. Internally. So Guruji's 3 instructions are Seva, Simran, Satsang. But before I even go there, I said when I'm long gone, people might want to research, so I'm putting everything on in its perspective from myself, so there can be no speculation. So up until the day I moved into this ashram, I think it was 30th of March 2019. I started satsang 2013. 2013 to 2019, how many years? 6 years. Up until the day I moved into the satsang, and a little while longer, I personally, Mataji, or my 2 sons, never collected or never touched 1 cent from the ashram. Never collected or never touched 1 cent from the ashram, because we were living privately. We were living in a private house, and we were mobile. We were having mobile satsangs. And to find this word mobile, I had to think of discourse. Those days we had mobile discourse. I couldn't find the word mobile, J-Bhai, so I had to find the word discourse first and then come to mobile. But I want to place this on record because many of you have not been here with me. I think Junior J, who will be more senior in answering this question. J-Bhai, you remember? I had each branch had its own treasurer. They kept their own money, and then we had a general treasurer, and they all worked together. So not even half a slice of bread, not even half a slice of bread went to my house from donation money. Lirendri, you remember? Okay, so there are some old devotees here. But when I came to this ashram, and when this ashram opened fully fledged, then there is no difference now between the lodging, because I live at the ashram, and the ashram. Is there any difference between the kutir and this ashram and this property? It is one whole unit. And it was after that that we opened a bank account. After that we opened a bank account, and after that we started receiving monies from devotees or from wherever. Now, whatever money comes into the ashram, it immediately belongs to the ashram. All of you understand. If we go for any drives, like recently we said, let's buy tiles, and I need 2,000 rand for tiles. If we collect 2,500, is there a problem? Where is the other 500 going? It's in the ashram. Like the Khalsas, the money came more because people kept donating. I said I want 14 Khalsas. I think we received money for about 18 Khalsas. Now when your donation came for the Khalsa, and the Khalsa is based in the ashram, your intention was for the Khalsa, but it went into the ashram. Your merit is the same. I cannot draw a fine line and monitor that now and return monies to you. I can't do that. It is not practical and possible. So I wanted to bring this in its clarity, that I did not become a guru to collect donations. 2013 I came back from India, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, now in 2022 I went back to work. I went back to work. When I work, I stop all donations. I don't have multi-millionaire devotees. My devotees find it hard on its own. I don't want to squeeze the last drop of my devotees. So when God gives me an opportunity to work, then I do not take any more donations. I run the ashram through whatever I have until God takes the work away again. Normally I get a terrible idea when I go to work. But I still go to work. I still go to work. And I have pride. But that's not a negative pride. That is a positive pride, because I am proud of my ashram, of my guru and my God. Do you understand? I have that pride that I must go out and drop my last sweat because I am a guru. You can't do that. You have a family to look after. You have your whole life to look after. So whenever I get that opportunity, I go out, and you'll see this ashram will, the dimension of this ashram will change quickly. It will change quickly. And just for the record, if I have to work on my own, I'm not working on my own, but if I have to go out into business again, then my money per day minimum is 20,000. The lowest amount per day is 20,000. Most of you know it. You understand? So I've sacrificed that 20,000 a day because I was instructed to leave business. So when I'm sitting here, when I'm preaching, when I'm putting all the perspectives into its place, I didn't take this seat for your 10%, for your 15%, for your 20%, for your 30%. You understand? I left my money to come and take this seat so that I can give you and the world this knowledge that I'm giving you. All of you understand? This knowledge that I gave you today, do you think the world needs it? Do you think it was ever given to the world before in this manner? Do you think God is using me to give this message to the world because we human have lost our humanity? Do you think? Yes, so please, for my devotees here, for whoever is around, I wanted to make this statement on my own, so there's no speculation. Alright? So I was always clean, neat, militant in my approach to life, in every aspect of my life. And I want to just make mention that the perfect devotee in this ashram who you'll need to follow is Dhana. What's Dhana's age? Is it 70 now?
90.
Just 6. No, he was 67 about 2 years ago when he went for his heart operation, alright? So Dhana is 68, 69. He has no permission from his wife of 60 years to come to ashram. Every day it's a problem. She has never attended one satsang. She is not part of our system. It is not easy. Satish Bhai. And Dhana said no difference between Jessica and his wife in terms of Mahakali. So imagine how hard it is for him every time to leave his Mahakali and perform services. Yeah, I'm serious. So just to be associated with me is hell for him. Do you understand? On his own, without anybody asking him, every second day he brings 2 or 3 loaves of bread and 2-liter milk to the ashram because he runs a tuck shop. Then he brings all the beautiful plants you see. Dhana brings his plants, he leave it here. If the Guru got time, I plant it. Guru got no time, it get dried. You all must have noticed many times. If I am short for anything, I'll phone Dhana. He'll say, I haven't got it, but I'll make a plan. Within 2 hours, he's here. Within 2 hours, he's here. If we drive in anyway and Dhana is keeping all, Shanti is alive because of Dhana. Any old person that wants to live longer, travel with Dhana. That adrenaline will give you another 30, 40 years. Jessica and Satish Bhai, after one ride with Dhana, now they eat in butter bread and paying for their car because they can't go with Dhana again. Satish Bhai, no more chicken from the time he bought his van. That money, what he was eating his chicken, he have to pay installments. But he said, Guruji, I'd rather eat butter bread than travel with Dhana. Alright? Poor Dhana, in the crusade, heavy rain. Because of one person, he had to take his car. He sacrificed. But this is for Vishwadhar, because he's pouting after I whacked him. He is pouting after I whacked him yesterday. Go onto Facebook. This 69-year-old man, this is even for you, Jessica, and whoever is on Facebook in my satsang, including Sherwin, Sean and Mataji. Dhana comments on every post of the Guru. And Jessica got no reason not to, because that time she spends fighting with Satish Bhai, she can be on a Facebook commenting Jai Shriman Narayan because she got Wi-Fi at home and Wi-Fi at work. Do you understand? So I whacked Vishwadhar yesterday for being the chairperson of the organization and you not commenting on your Guru's post. This is personal. You must have bhav like Dhana. I never tell Dhana to bring milk and bread. He brings milk and bread. I never tell Dhana to bring plants. He brings plants. This line of rock, 40 meters of rock that went up, Dhana did it in 2 days. In between Mahakali. Mahakali is time. Do you all know that? Kali is time. Mahakali is time. In between time, he still had time to bring the rocks up. 67-year-old. Because he got the bhav. You must have that inner bhav which the Guru must not compute. When the Guru computes instructions into you and you follow those instructions and give me a result, that is a business deal between me and you. Yes or no? Where is your love? Where is your bhav? Where is your love? Where is your bhav? Learn from that 67-year-old man. He does things from his bhav and love. So Vishwadhar indirectly told me that I spend a lot of time on Facebook because I do nothing. I just sit in my kutir. You understand? This ashram just went up because I got so much, because I told him that I'll never see a post of my guru on my wall that I won't comment, love and share. Of my guru. I won't allow a post of my guru Swami Sudarshan Acharya Ji Maharaj on my wall. I'll never scroll past it. You understand? So this bhav, this inner love comes from the attributive consciousness. This love from the attributive consciousness, which is layered with anger, layered with pride, layered with hatred, layered with jealousy, layered with selfishness, all this is layered on the attributive consciousness. When you turn to bhav, you turn on your attributive consciousness and you start washing away these layers. When you wash these layers, there'll be an outpouring of love from your attributive consciousness to Lord Narayan's attributive consciousness. And this is why I push you all to the limit, so that you can clean your attributive consciousness. You can clean your pride. You can clean your selfishness. You can clean that filth that is contaminated in your consciousness, so that you can have this outpouring of a loving relationship that I have with Lord Sriman Narayan. With Lord Sriman Narayan. So when I give you instructions by virtue of your position in this ashram, it is mechanical. Is it not? If I say wash this floor, how is your attributive consciousness involved? You're washing it to please the Guru. Satisfied? If I say wash this floor, you're washing this floor to please the Guru's instructions. But you can also wash the floor, wash the windows, clean the cobwebs, take the curtains and wash it. Then you're doing it with your bhav. Then it is not a business transaction. Because my business transaction with you is wash the floor. Whilst you're washing the floor, look around, see what else you can do. And do it without the Guru telling you to do it. When you do it without the Guru telling you to do it, then it is your bhav, your love to do it. We were 5 years, and I keep going back to this example. We were 5 years in Westville. We were instructed not to do things by the famous five. You know the famous five? One of them or two of them are running some satsangs now, right? Because they wanted to be in charge. If you went there and you was washing the floor, they'll ask you, does doctor know you doing this? Does doctor's wife know you doing this? Who gave you instruction to do this? Do you understand? But we still went under the radar and we did the dirtiest of jobs. We went there first and we left there last. There was no hurry to go home. No rush to go home. Don't come satsang and put a time to go home. Just come satsang. I told Sean this yesterday. I told him, if you sit in the back and keep looking at your time, don't come to satsang. Don't come to satsang to rush to go home. Because if you at satsang, then it means you know that God is in the ashram. Logical or not logical? If you come here, you know God is here. And if God is here and you are rushing to get away from God, then when you call upon that God, what God, that same God will do to you? He'll rush away from you. Because Sanatana Dharma is an absolute science. Is it not? Sanatana Dharma is an absolute science. If you take a ball and throw it on the floor, the angle of incidence will be equal to the angle of deflection. Angle of incidence will be equal to the angle of deflection. That is Sanatana Dharma. So what bhav you have for God, that angle of incidence will be equal to the angles of deflection. In terms of spirituality, the angle of deflection is God's grace. Angle of deflection is God's grace, and angle of incidence is your bhav. Angle of incidence is your bhav. God won't give you a penny more or a penny less. That law of Newton wasn't even Newton's law. That's another discourse. Alright? That law is a gross material law. Gross material law. The subtle law is called karma. Subtle law is called karma. You understand? Everyone thinks karma is negative. Karma is not negative. Karma is karma. Karma is karma. That's all. Alright? In karma you get positive merits and negative merits. In karma you get positive merits and negative merits. So just remember, your angle of incidence to God will be your angle of God's grace to you. So come satsang, relax. Nilendri, you remember all the halls we should go to? The caretakers should chase us out. Who? Caretakers. Nobody want to go home. Remember, Jai? Nobody want to go home. Now this is ashram. Those were halls we used to sweep, clean and spiritualize. This is ashram. Yes, I understand you have duties. But don't rush, push chairs here, do this, do that, rush and go home. Do it nicely, eat nicely, relax. You are in the presence of the Supreme Lord. You are in His presence. You crave Him all the time when you're not here. When you here, don't crave home. This is the problem with our Sanatan Dharmis. When they at work, they want to be at the ashram. When they at the ashram, they want to be at home. When they at home, they want to be at work. You understand? Fix your mind. When you in the ashram, close everything else and be in the ashram. Grow your love for God. Feel God enter you. Feel God vibrate in your consciousness. This is not Vishwadar's computed spreadsheet. There's no merits and demerits in a computer. Whatever is computed goes in and comes out. You must have that bhav. And that is why I've been pushing him, so that he can break his heart open and just love God for who God is. Just love God for who God is. And that happens when your attribute of consciousness is cleared of anger, pride, hatred, jealousy, selfishness. All that goes. And this is why I have so few devotees. This is why I have so few devotees. Because I'm serious on my side. I am serious on my side. I want you to clean yourself up. Does it make sense if your best friend is a mechanic, you visit your mechanic's house and have thousands of braais, and your car is still getting kick-started, not serviced, no oil change? Does it make sense? Similarly, you come in like a broken car here, no service. It's my job as a guru to fix up everything. What's the use having a relationship with me if you are coming here and you are not getting repaired? What is the purpose of this intimate relationship? Jessica? This is not one of those general ashrams where you sit in a bag for 10 years and nobody knows your name is Jessica. Yeah, the minute you walked in, Guru knew your name. Jessica? You understand? Okay, so let's realign ourselves. We are having a huge function. 2 weeks' time on this day, we are having a function that is not held anywhere in the world. Yes or no? So, we must have a bhav for this. It is our satsang. I said within the context, don't go outside, Jessica, and tell Haji Yunus our ashram is having a satsang better than a mosque. That's why we are superior, alright? And you too, Jai Bhai, don't go tell Khatija. Alright? Okay, are there any questions? So please, love God not for what God can do for you, not what God can do for your future wife, not what God can do. Love God only for the sake of loving God. That is called spirituality. Jai Shriman Narayan.